Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. We have a beautiful Wisconsin summer morning. It's 53 degrees. It's supposed to warm up into the low 80s. And I'm out here doing a little field testing, guys. Berkley sent me, not the Cull Shad, because that's what this guy is. They sent me the new Unrigged Cull Shad. So this is just a soft plastic paddle tail, same body you would get in the rigged Cull Shad. And by rigged, I mean it comes with a harness, with your treble hook, the little snap clip, everything ready to roll. And this has been a huge producer for a lot of people out there. You've seen a lot of tournaments where this was a huge player. You've seen a lot of really positive reviews of it. For me, it's a fantastic swim bait that I love throwing. Now, having said that, I'm not always a huge fan of throwing a harness or a treble hook. You know, a lot of times I like to fish around areas where you've got some logs, you've got some cover, some grass, and when you've got a treble hook, whether it's belly weighted or top weighted or top rigged, that can lead to some problems. And one of the things that Berkley did, the feedback they got, was people wanted just a unrigged version. And I was extremely happy to see this because, as you guys know, I love throwing the tush hook, and the tush hook works amazingly well in this when I rigged one up. I have yet to throw it in terms of fishing with it, but in terms of how it looks, it is beautiful. Let me get it out of here. So I just rigged one up. So this is the 7/0 1/4 ounce in the 6-inch Cull Shad, unrigged Cull Shad. You can see it fits that perfectly. So we're gonna take this out, fish it around. I wanna make sure it catches fish as good as the rigged version, because really what that does then is it opens up a lot of opportunities for the anglers to be able to rig this or use it on their favorite swim bait hooks. The bait has amazing action, really good side roll, which is something that, in my opinion, triggers those fish into biting. And assuming we can get that same belly roll, side roll, the same tail kick out of one that we've rigged versus the original rigged version, I think I'm gonna be a happy camper. So let's get out on the water, let's throw it around, see if we can catch a few fish. We don't have a whole lot of time today, but I think we can hopefully catch a few. Largemouth, smallmouth, pike, muskie, walleye, I don't know, everything eats a Cull Shad, but let's find out what we can catch with it today. So I'm gonna show you how to rig one of these up. Really straightforward, like other solid bodied swim baits or solid plastic swim baits. Just tying on my tush hook. So this one right here is a, so this one right here is a 4/0 3/8 ounce. Now the new Cull Shad, unrigged Cull Shad, comes in two sizes. You got a 6-inch size, and then we also got a 5-inch size. And the first one I tied on was a hitch colored one, which is this guy. This is one of my favorite colors. I think this is probably one of the top sellers. And then anytime you're up north, I really like to throw yellow perch colors, and Berkley's got really good HD colors. So we're gonna take one of these guys, which is the 5-inch size, and that'll work great on the 4-inch. I'm gonna show you how to rig it. Now there's a couple things I really like about the Cull Shad and the tush hook. Now the Cull Shad is really a tougher material, so it works really well when you're inserting the bait inside, like the plastic doesn't tear. The other thing that I really like is you can see the nose is slanted, and it's really at a similar slant to the eye of our tush hook. So when I rig this, I'm gonna rig it to the point where the plastic comes to the lead tip, and then I let the eye actually run up the front of the plastic. So the first thing, you know, if you don't rig these much, I always recommend kind of lining it up, knowing where you're gonna be at. You'll see some people take their tip of their hook and kind of mark the area where they wanna put it. Once you use them enough, you kind of really get a good feel as to where you want it to come. But so you're just gonna rig right down the middle and get your hook point to come out right down the middle slot, and you're just gonna slide it up. And like I said, these are tougher, so you're gonna wanna really, you know, give a little bit of pressure, but this thing will lock on so good onto this hook. Once I get it up, I give it kind of a little bit of a pullback, position it, And there you go. So you've got it rigged. You can see the hook really runs nice along the top of that bait, just like that. And this bait's not going anywhere. I mean, you can pull so hard on this. And we've got right there a 5-inch yellow perch, which to me is an absolute killer in the North Country for smallmouth, largemouth, walleye. Everything eats yellow perch, even us. It's the best food you can get at a Friday night fish fry in Wisconsin. If you find a yellow perch one, you're good to go. There he is. Little guy. Eating that cull shad, still peeing. Got it good. I mean, that's a big bait for a little fish. He's, let me measure him. 6. He's about 13 inches. Bait is still locked in place. I like that. One of the reasons why I like that top hook is because you've got a hook that's set in place, so you can fish it around log jams, bring it up over cover, bump off the logs. You can just work it in a place where you wouldn't be able to work a treble hook, whether that's a top hook or a bottom hook, because the problem is, you know, when you hit something, the bait wants a roll, and that's when you're gonna get caught in either case. You have way more control out of your top hook baits that are positioned, fixed positioned, I should say. I also think you've got generally better hookups as well. And you can see how good that thing looks. Just big time belly roll side to side. Man, she sits really well in there. So I've got the trolling motor on 70% right now. You can see the wobble is side to side. It's not blowing out, running great. Let's kick it up to 100, see what happens. Bait still runs perfect. Gosh, that looks good. I love that. That is a really good looking bait. It fits that tush so good. Again, that's the 6, this is the 6-inch size in our 7/0 hook. So you can see that's about perfect for what you're looking for. That's a chunk. Nice one. 2-pounder. Look how he's got that whole bait just gone. Not coming off. Nice chunk. So there's a couple of ways, you know, that I really like to retrieve bigger swim baits like this. You know, generally a straight slow retrieve can be really good, especially if you're bringing it by cover, but there's a few things that I like to do that can help generate a strike. The first is I like to give a little quarter turn kind of reel kick, you know, so you've got your straight retrieve, you're just kind of nice steady, and then you give it just one hard kick like that. And what that kick will do, especially when you're using the tush hook, is the bait will jump forward, but it'll jump forward and glide almost like a glide bait when you kick a glide bait like that. It's one of those things that can really trigger the fish, because with swim baits you get a lot of fish that want to follow your bait. So if they're following your bait, you give them one hard little quarter turn and that makes your bait explode to a certain direction. That's something you could really do to help generate a few additional strikes. So that's one thing I like to do. Another thing that I really like to do is just kind of kill it every once in a while. So instead of, you know, really making it explode, I'm just going to be retrieving, nice slow steady pace, and then just kill it for a second, let it fall down, retrieve it, just kill it, let it fall down. And I'm not looking to let it really fall all the way to the bottom. I am if I'm trying to keep bottom contact, but I'm really doing it just to to give that, you know, that instant where the fish, the bass or whatever's following it has the ability to potentially just really have it stop in front of their face. So instead of it really trying to act like it's trying to get away, it's almost like it just keels over. And sometimes if you just put the bait in front of the fish's face, they can't deny it. You know, you just slow retrieve, slow retrieve, slow retrieve, and then just kill it. And a lot of times that's where your bites are going to come. They just can't deny it, because it's like it almost just flutters down on front of their nose, and they're going to eat it just because they can at that point. So it's something to keep in mind. You know, definitely your slow, straight retrieves work great with swim baits, but there's little things you can do to generate a strike. You know, and like I said, I definitely at times want to keep these on the bottom. You know, and in this case, I'm throwing the little 1/4 ounce 7/0. So this is the light one. And I'm generally not looking to keep it right on the bottom here, because I'm only fishing 4 or 5 foot of water. But if I want to keep it on the bottom and I'm fishing like a 45-degree bank, you can go with a heavier one. You can almost work swim baits just like a jig. You know, one thing we've seen over the last couple of years is how good swim baits can be on your bottom baits, whether it's a Carolina rig, whether it's a drop shot, whether it's a wobble head. You know, if you think about it, most fish live on the bottom at some point throughout, you know, their life, throughout the day, I would say. In fact, most fish, if they're not a true pelagic fish, use the bottom to relate to the cover. And it's just something to keep in mind. So let's talk rod and reel setup, line setup. For me, you know, it really comes down to the size of the bait. I want to throw a little bit stouter rod, so I'm throwing, this is a 7.4 5 power, so it's basically a light heavy action. It's something I would definitely flip around with. So it's a 7.4 length, and then I'm fishing at 17 pound. This is straight Berkley 100% fluorocarbon. And then I got a fast Xenon Abu Garcia. It's an 8.3 to 1. Generally, you know, the 8.3 to 1 I think would be a little fast, but since I'm fishing shoreline cover, I like to be able to control my bait better, and the fast reel lets me do that. If I were fishing deeper, just kind of offshore stuff, I probably would want to, ooh, there was a little tick. I would want a slower gear ratio reel, help me keep the bait down. And then the 5-inch one, which I haven't actually made a cast with yet, that one I've got on a 7.3 medium heavy rod, and that one's also got 17 pound 100% fluorocarbon. You could throw both on this, on the little bit stouter rod. You know, this one's got a 7/0 hook, so it's a little beefier hook, so I just want a little bit more power to be able to drive that hook home. Generally speaking, I think straight fluorocarbon is a better way to go than mixing it up with a braid to fluorocarbon or a straight mono. I just feel like the straight fluorocarbon gives me better performance overall. Well guys, I should have looked at the radar before I got out. We've got a pretty nasty wall cloud coming with a lot of rain behind it, which is probably going to be about an hour long, but I'm gonna get out of here because it looks kind of nasty. You know, we had caught a couple, lost a nice one, had a bunch of smallmouth come and bang the tail, and the bait is still holding up really good. You can see a bunch of the teeth marks in it, and I'm impressed with it. I really do like the Cull Shad. I like the fact now that I can rig it on the tush hook by Core Tackle or whatever other jig head or way I want to rig it. I can do that now. And yeah, I'm excited about that. So check it out. I'm sure they'll have them at Tackle Warehouse. I'll put the link for that and the tush hook if you guys want to check them out. Otherwise, I need to get out of here before this storm rolls in. So thanks for watching. I appreciate all of you, and stay tuned. We'll have a new one coming out tomorrow.